Hello everybody, you're welcome back again to the Reggae Appreciation Society. Like most of you are, I'm a massive fan of roots reggae, but in terms of sheer popularity on a global scale, and especially with the younger generation, its offshoots called dancehall is the number one sound on the planet today. When it exploded in popularity in the 70s on the backs of pioneers like the great U-Roy and Big Youth, it was considered part and parcel of reggae. But by the dawn of the 80s, it had forced its way into global consciousness as a distinct subgenre of its own. The major catalyst for this was a super-powered outfit that was Volcano High Power, operating out of Mary Avenue in Kingston 11. There have been many magnificent crews in the history of sound systems, but this one was something else. A complete and perfect storm of some of the most talented DJs to ever hold a microphone, from newbies to veterans, and from fire-spitting toasters to the smoothest or powerful singers. And speaking of singers, it was this sound system's own crooners, like Barrington Levy, that broke the dominance of toasters and paved the way for singers to get their bragging rights as bona fide dancehall artists in their own right. This crew's dominance on the sound system scene aside, they would literally spark a worldwide music revolution as recording artists when their records set the airwaves ablaze all over the globe and inadvertently unleashed a trend that crystallized into a musical subgenre of its own that is still today a billion-dollar industry that is still going strong. This sonic revolution was the brainchild of that outfit's owner and mastermind, who was then a 20-year-old political enforcer turned producer from the gritty streets of Olympic Way in West Kingston. Let's take a look at Henry Junjo Lawes' magnificent Volcano Crew, the posse that created modern dancehall. Now this tale begins with Henry Lawes, aka Junjo, born in Kingston in 1960 and grew up on McCoy Lane in Whitfield Town. He came of age amidst the terrible political violence in Jamaica by the late 1970s and became a street enforcer for the JLP political party until popular producer Bonnie Lee convinced him to try his hands in music. And though he didn't find any headway as an artist, he became an assistant and sidekick of popular artist and producer Linval Thompson in 1978 and quickly found his calling as a producer with an extraordinary eye for talent. A trait that would be the key to building his world-beating posse. One night in 1979, Junjo was hanging out at a dance in his neighborhood on Payne Avenue in Kingston 11 when a scrawny 15-year-old kid with a phenomenal voice took the microphone to sing a song of his called Shy Night Gal that was so good that he almost caused a stampede right there at the venue. That kid called Barrington Levy inspired Junjo that evening to build a posse of his own, and he was sent for him a few days later to come and record some songs at the popular Channel 1 studios over some wonderful rhythms put together by the studio's in-house band, the Roots Radix. And one of these songs, called Collie Weed, became a huge hit in Jamaica when it hit the streets and went to number 1 in that country's charts. Junjo immediately would go and register his label Volcano Records plus his sound system in Volcano High Power with Barrington Levy as the first member of the Volcano Posse. After releasing Barrington Levy's debut album, Shaolin Temple, also in 1979, Junjo will set his sights on the next superstar, albeit the most unlikely at the time. He'd been super impressed by the wonderful talents of a then 22-year-old toaster called Winston Foster, aka Yellowman, who had just won the first prize at the immensely popular Tasty Talent contests. This artist with albinism had been turned down by many producers, all due to his skin type, but Junjo embraced him and produced his album named Mr. Yellowman, which became a spectacular hit in Jamaica and soon crossed over into the international charts, courtesy of a distribution deal which Junjo had put together with a UK label called Greensleeves Records. His next album, Zongo 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 Zang, became an even bigger international hit and led to a massive deal with CBS Records. And that deal is considered by reggae historians as the official birth of dancehall as a distinct niche and subgenre of its own, and Yellowman went on to become dancehall's first international icon. Around that same time, Junjo came across an eccentric 6'6", 24-year-old giant from Trenchtown called Ripton Joseph Hilton with the hilarious stage name of Ika Mouse. He wasn't a singer or toaster in the conventional sense, but something in between and very unique called a Sing-J. Junjo's winning formula would also work wonders on Ika Mouse, as he soon scored big hits with songs like Virgin Girl and his all-time smash Wadu Dem. Junjo had by then already built an unstoppable team that were already superstar recording artists, but he wouldn't slow down one bit. In 1981, he added a fire-spitting seasoned DJ called Ranking Toyan to the Volcano Crew, along with his girlfriend's gifted 13-year-old younger brother called Billy Boyo, and he soon after added gifted blind singer Frankie Paul, plus a youngster and teenage prodigy who went by the name of Little John. Junjo had been focused on the recording business up until then, but soon began to set his sights on deploying his star-studded lineup to what was a very vibrant sound system scene. So in the middle of 1982, he began to assemble the equipment at his headquarters on Mary Avenue in Kingston 11, plus some new microphone maestros. First things first, he would hire the best selector in Kingston called Danny Dredd to spin the records, ably assisted by Junjo's younger brother, Papa Melon. And on the DJ or toasting side, he would poach Barrington from popular Kingston sound system Kilimanjaro at the beginning of 1983. A sizzling veteran who could ride rhythms for hours without skipping a beat. And to cap it off, Volcano High Power also added youngster Little Harry to the crew and became one of the scariest sound systems you could imagine. Rival crews would look at the prospects of going up against the likes of Yellowman, Barrington Levy, Ika Mouse, Ranking Toyan, Little John, Frankie Paul, Billy Boyo, Josie Wales, and others, and would lose heart before the clash had even started. In late that year, Barrington took the sound system to play a small gig in Clarendon and was totally blown away by the performance of a little fisherman with the sweetest voice he'd ever heard. And he was so impressed that he took him back to Kingston to meet Junjo, who also loved his style. And that singer, called Kokoti, also quickly became a successful recording artist almost overnight, and a powerful addition to the Volcano High Power sound system. Over the next 1 year, into 1984, the crew's exploits continued to spread even beyond Jamaica, and they began to get booked for gigs in America and Europe, not to mention their astounding success as recording artists, as all of them had scored major hits in Jamaica's charts at least, to cap off global success by most of them. Back home, they were a nightmare to face in clashes, and abroad they were celebrated as superstars, as their records as well as recordings of their live performances were in high demand from fans as far away as Japan. The sky seemed to be their limit going in to 1985, when Junjo's past would catch up with him. In that year, he made a decision to relocate Volcano to America with the plan to exploit what was a rapidly growing market for the dancehall sound, which he had virtually planted over there by himself, and moved to New York, which had a powerful Jamaican community. But unfortunately, a large number of his associates in the Big Apple had back home been like him, an enforcer of the JLP party, and they had now morphed into a drug gang called the Shower Posse. And not long after he arrived, he was arrested and locked up at Rikers Island over narcotic offenses, where he was imprisoned for the next 5 years. In his absence, the Volcano Crew fell apart, with each artist big enough to stand on his own, though one or two, like Billy Boyo, would fail to find his feet in what was the dawn of dancehall's digital era, which had been sparked by Under Miss Lengteng or Ranking Toyan, who lost his life in Kingston in 1991. The rest of that posse would go on to long and wonderful careers. The Volcano Crew lasted for just 6 years. Well, my, those were 6 huge years with an impact that reverberated for years to come and which we can still feel till today. They were the posse that became the face of dancehall at the dawn of the 1980s, the very crew that laid the foundations of modern dancehall. So there you have it. Thank you for watching this video today. Please leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, God bless.